Hello TVI Universe, we are live! Welcome back today. Today's podcast is going to be absolutely full of tips and hints and everything for you. If this is your first time here, I am Dave from the TVI Universe and I give you weekly YouTube tips for you because you rock. Okay, so today I'm going to be giving you lots of hints and tips on how to make your YouTube channel look more professional. Now I'm going to go over some tips and some ideas and some thoughts and things to think about. But before we start, question of the day then. To you, what do you think makes a good YouTube channel? Put that in the description below, put that in the comments below, and feel free to give your views and opinions on that. So, look, starting with the channel then, if you're thinking about your channel, you've got to think about a brand and how important that is to you. And more importantly, your viewers. So if you're thinking about, what you're going to do with that, you're going to think, right, I need to make my brand look professional. So you've got to start with the banner. Now it's really important to, and lots of content creators out there say, once you've made it, just leave it. I personally would say evolve it. So, as long as it says what your channel is straight away, is obvious without any thinking, it's a good banner. Now, keeping it simple is key. It's highly important. What I'd recommend is maybe a picture of you, maybe, if you're about gaming or cooking or you're a musician or whatever you're about, maybe just put, whatever your channel's called, and then underneath, just briefly, I don't know, say you're called Woodcupper Gaming, or say, I've completely made that up, Woodcupper Gaming, the future of gamers, or something like that, like a little cool little catchphrase. Or maybe you could just put the name of your channel and then underneath the days that you post. So, whatever your channel's called, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or like I do, Tuesday, Saturday, or whatever day you are. So think about that. And later in the video, I will literally show you what that looks like. So, think about that as well. So underneath that, I would have a trailer or just a one-off video at the top, which the YouTube calls a trailer. Now, I use my newest video, but I think it just looks good. So I think, most people who come onto your channel have probably never seen it before, and that's going to be the first thing they see. So you might want to think about a trailer or some sort of like advert type video that just sort of shows people exactly what the channel's about and what they're getting if they come to your channel more often. But I personally use the newest video just because it keeps people up to date, and hopefully, all your videos should be on the same niche anyway, if you want to grow your channel. So thinking of that, that's highly, highly important. Now, what I do underneath that, I constantly evolve and move things around to keep it fresh for, returning viewers and for you guys, which I think is highly important. Now, if you're getting value from this video so far, give us a like. So cracking on for that then, so you thought about your cover, you're starting to think your channel as a brand. If you want to grow your channel, that's the way you've got to think. If you're just having fun with your channel, that's fine. Just post videos whenever. But if you want to grow your channel, get more engagement, maybe grow an audience, perhaps one day even make money from it, you've got to start thinking of it almost like a business so it feels more professional. And if you think like that, then the people watching you will feel that from you, and it's like a domino effect. So underneath that, then I would have things then like sort of like recommended videos, and put a little description. You can make a playlist of recommended videos. You could type a little description in that. Later in the video, I'll sort of show you what I mean about that. But you could do a little description, do your thumbnails in a row, and then have a few playlists, maybe 2 or 3. Probably less is key to begin with, and make it the videos you want people to see. So perhaps if you're a gaming channel again, you could do like shooting games, for example, make a playlist on that, or another type of game. If you're a musician, you might have a playlist of your own personal work, maybe, and then the second playlist could be like covers, which pulls in views and stuff like that. So they see you do a cover, and then they think, oh look, you do a certain song, and that sort of pulls them in. So that's something to bear in mind. So just really making your channel look professional. So there you go. So we're going to have a look now on how to actually make your channel and what I actually mean by this. I'm going to give you a run by of what it actually looks like. Let's have a look. So we're going over this now. The mic should be working. Give us a shout if it's not. and I'm just going to show you what the channel should look like. So hopefully you can see my screen now, and what I'm going to show you is just roughly what my channel looks like. You get a rough idea. Now I don't want you to copy this, just use it as an example and sort of think, right, how can I progress and move my channel to a more professional look. So if you just look at my banner now I know you can't see me, but it is what it is. So hopefully you can hear me. So if you can just look at the banner now, which is really cool. And I'm constantly evolving. So for example, I'm already thinking perhaps, that Saturday podcast, I can make maybe the similar style to what I've been doing here. It looks more professional, and that maybe entice people, and the more professional that your channel looks, and the more you think about your brand, people think, oh, this looks quite professional. And something I really want to emphasize is really think about your viewers, in a sense. Don't split your audience. That's something that I've done and learned the hard way. Don't be like a cooking channel one day and a musician the next. Or what I did, I was doing like film reviews one day, and then I was doing like filmmaking tutorial. So really concentrate. But saying that, you can do stuff within your niche, especially as you first start out. So let's just sort of move around this channel a bit. So as you can see here, I'm pointing here with a pointer, and you can see straight away that it's quite obvious that I do YouTube tips. And this is the live video that's going on. We're going to talk about, I've had some questions sent in actually, which I'll get to later, about thumbnails and titles, and I'll get to that. So if you can just see now, you can see, which I think is really important to emphasize. It's really important. It's really cool to see that, you've got your thumbnail, you've got your title, and if you just see, underneath that, I've got like my Tuesday videos with a little description. I've got all those videos there as a playlist. In the settings, actually, if you make it a set series, YouTube will see that as a series and will show more people. That's just a little tip there underneath. I've got my Saturday podcast, which is really cool, with something that's really cool and important to see. I think personally it's important to make people feel engaged as possible, to pull them in. Something to bear in mind there. And what's really cool is underneath that I've got like my recommended. So this is something you could have at the top. It's only an idea. You could have wherever your channel is. You could have a recommended playlist with playlists in it or videos in it that you think are maybe your best or most viewed work. Something that I would highly recommend. It just makes it feel more personal. It sort of shows that you care about your audience. It's extremely important, and something that you might want to bear in mind. So bear all this in mind when you're making your channel. Really think about these sort of things. So I'm gonna have a look at some questions now that I've been asked today. So I thought this is why I'm making this video, because I thought I'd answer some of these questions that you, the TVR universe, have brought to me. Okay, so I don't want to give any names away because some people don't want to be, their identity or whatever. But, feel free if you're not bothered, that's fine. So anyway, so the first question I got asked was, what makes a good thumbnail? Now, it sounds really silly, but, I'm constantly looking over some of your YouTube channels, random YouTube channels I come across if you're coming over now from your channel. And what I see a lot of is, if I'm brutally honest, just random thumbnails. They just put text anywhere. Sometimes they put a whole essay on. Most people just can't be bothered to look at that. Now, what I would really bear in mind is when you're making your thumbnail, if we just briefly look at my newest one, for example. So if you can see that now, I've literally got just my face and just the title, and going along with that, the title works with the thumbnail. See it like a partnership. So the thumbnail is like the poster. So think about when you go to the cinema, you don't have like a whole essay or just a little tiny picture. It tends to be a big picture of whatever you're talking about. So it could be a picture of you or whatever you're talking about individually, or it could be the object that you're talking about. So if you're talking about a camera or a specific game, it could be just a screenshot of that. If it's you playing a certain song, just your guitar or whatever you play. And bear that in mind, and maybe just have a text. So if it's about a certain song, just the song, maybe say cover. If it's a cover, if it's your song, It could be like the name of your song, you know, just some things to bear in mind. And then the title is just a sort of an extension onto the thumbnail. So if you're thinking about your thumbnail, really think about that. So if you think about your title, you just add a bit more. So you might put the, and which I've seen quite a few of you guys have actually done a really good job with actually. So you've got your title, which is just a bit more of what's on the thumbnail. Maybe you just plus more, you know, like my own song, or if you're doing gaming, my good example, this would be, think about, so the game, maybe a cool little slogan. So say like, I don't know, Call of Duty. We'll just say Call of Duty. We put Call of Duty, make it more specific, so maybe warfare that a lot of people playing on, and then in brackets you could have multiplayer, gameplay online or something like that, and then maybe add 2020 because it's this year, and that might add in a few more views as well. And so going on to the next question then. So I'm rambling a bit now. So hey, boom. So the next question is, Dave, is it worthwhile writing in my description? That is what I've been sent today. So, is it worthwhile putting your description? So if we briefly look at the channel again then, I hope you can hear this when I go over. I would say yes. It's highly, highly, highly important. Now what the description does, it does two things. It first off tells your audience more about what the video is about, what they're actually going to get if they click on it. If they've already clicked on it, they might just want to read through a bit more information. And also it tells YouTube what the video is. So what YouTube does, it takes the title and necessarily, and then it reads and they always say the first description should be a proper little description about whatever the video is about. And that tells YouTube what the video is about, and then specifically who to target. And then it will know from its massive database of roughly, well, very precisely, in fact, who watches that type of video. So, you know, if you're talking about, and don't just copy and paste the title because it sees that as spam and it will probably just, you know, ignore your video. But if you have a very nice description, you know, it's, I'm just thinking of gameplay again, just because it's an easy example. This is the particular gameplay. I play this, blah, blah, blah. And then it will take that and it will target people that actually watch that. And then what you could do, and what I highly recommend in your description, having lots of cool little links. This is another thing to help build your channel, something really which I would highly recommend. So putting links in there, so links to the videos that you recommend. I would put in playlists, so you know, your top 2 or 3 playlists, put in the description. Just add a couple of tags. That is a little tweet they say, just add 2 or 3 tags. They're actually slowly pushing out tags, apparently YouTube. It's actually only a small percentage, so I won't worry as much about tags now. And obviously in your tag section you could add in short phrases, and I've talked about that more in other videos, so I won't go about in so much today, but just bear that in mind. So you know, you could add in your tags, what the video is, and phrases around that. And I've spoke about in other videos, you can type in YouTube a particular phrase, it will come up with what people have actually typed in, and you can copy and paste a couple of them into your tag section, and that may help a little bit. But as I said, YouTube are phasing it out, so I wouldn't overly worry. So write a good title. And what I would recommend with that actually is definitely installing TubeBuddy, which is a great little plugin. And what that does is it just shows you what actually works, and what actually it gives you. If you put in the keyword phrase on TubeBuddy, it give you like a graph thing, and it will tell you the likelihood of people actually watching that video. So it'll be like fair, good, and it will give you a rundown of why that is. Like, is it compatible? Is it, you know, are there loads of videos already about that? So it's probably not worth looking at that. And it would sort of give you all this rundown idea. And that's a good little useful tool to use. I'd also use Google Trends. Type in whatever you want to talk about and see if actually people are actually, you know, searching that in Google. It's also highly worth knowing that whatever you're making is also could be found off Google. You know, people could be just, because let's face it, YouTube is the second most search engine in the world, and Google owns YouTube, and they are the #1 search engine. So quite often people might just go on Google. You know yourself, you just tap on your phone and you'll just go, I don't know, the easiest way to make a pancake. And quite often you'll get YouTube videos that will pop up and you'll be like, ah. So, what I want to really get across to you now, when you're thinking about your brand, something that's highly important is solve a problem. Now I want to get to the next question in a minute, but just before I get to that, I just want to say solve a problem. It's so important. It sounds silly, and it's something that perhaps I should have even mentioned at the beginning of the video. But you know, for you guys that have got to this this far in the podcast, this is the reward to you. This is something. This is like a top secret of secrets. It's solve a problem. If you think about it, think about how you say that 10 times fast. How do you use YouTube? Say that, yeah. You know, you don't just, well, okay, a lot of people do, but most people, they search for things, you know, how to do this, how to do that. So I'm not using gaming again because it's a good example to use. So rather than perhaps just doing random gameplay about whatever, and that's fine, there's nothing wrong with that. But I think personally, you might find you'll get more success and more views and more engagement and more likes and more subscribers if you solve a problem. So perhaps a video on how you kill a certain bad guy, how do you complete a certain level, how you find a certain weapon, how do you solve a certain thing. I know someone who had a channel and he literally just did a few videos, 3 or 4 videos of how to, you know, find or how to get G on a certain game, you know, easy G, that sort of thing. And he had hundreds of views on his video. Okay, it's not thousands, but it's better than, you know, 5 or 6, isn't it? And that was because he was solving the problem. Maybe he didn't realise, but maybe he did, but he was solving the problem that needed to be solved. So bear that in mind. You know, if you're a musician, maybe you can make a video about the best way to tune your guitar. Maybe there's a little you know, 3 little tips on how to do that. It's amazing how many, you know, newbies might go, oh, I know how to do it, but is there a better way? You know, they might just put that into Google and your video comes up. If you're, you know, a cooking channel or, you know, something I've mentioned before about life hacks, you know, things like that. So solve a problem. That's what I would highly recommend. Solve a problem. If you don't get anything away from this video today, solve a problem for your viewers. Bring value to your viewers. Okay, so next question. Is it worth tagging? Now, I've sort of gone over this. Is it worth tagging videos? I would say personally, yes. Don't worry too much because, as I said, YouTube are phasing it out. So I won't go into that detail again because we've sort of covered that. But just bear that in mind as something that is worthwhile. So some little tips I'll give you to them before I go into any more questions is really think about what you're going to do with your channel. Really think about it as a brand. I know I keep saying this, but it's so important. If you really want to grow your channel, really think about it as a brand. Really think about, right, how can I make the banner look more professional? How can I make my thumbnails look good? You know, simple and effective. A single picture, 2 or 3 words, bam. You know, and you will find your click-through rate will come through. Now, one thing I'd highly recommend is downloading the YouTube Studio app if you haven't already, and really look at the all the graphs of your click-through rates, the duration of how long a video is actually being watched. You know, if 20 or 30% of your viewers are watching till the end, how could you make your video more engaging so perhaps they watch more? You know, bear that in mind. I'm always thinking, you know, I would love to have a really long intro, but I know myself, if I'm watching a video and an intro goes on for like 30 seconds, I'm bored. I'm like, right, next video. So this is why in my, you know, my Tuesday videos, this is why I've learned that if I have too much going on at the beginning or I just drag out that bit, I know that you guys just like, see you later, Dave, yeah, bye. It's because they reckon that you have roughly 7 seconds to grab someone's attention. And if you don't do that in your videos, they're gone. It doesn't matter what you've got going on later, what you're going to talk about, what value you may or may not bring, if you don't give that hook. So think about the structure of your videos, which actually leads on to the next question. Someone sent me the other day, what's a good structure for your video? So bear that in mind. So the structure I use, now don't necessarily copy this, but by all means use it as a template when you think about your videos, is think about a hook. Now, what you probably notice in my videos now, I have what they call a hook, which just grabs the person. You know, it just tells them straight away what's happening in that particular video, what value you're going to bring to them. It pulls them in. and then I have a very short intro just to make it a little more professional. But you'll probably notice it's literally like 2 or 3 seconds long, because I know myself, if an intro, even if it's a really cool intro, I might watch it. But if I watch 3 or 4 of their videos, I'm like, oh, here's that intro that goes on for a minute, you know, you'll find yourself skipping, and that sense hurts your video. So bear that in mind. So, you know, going from that, so have your hook, have an intro by all means. Maybe try don't have an intro. See how that works. You may find your duration, you'll get 50 or 60 or even 70% of your viewers will watch more your video because you just get on with it. I mean, I know myself, if I'm looking for a video that solves a problem of how to do something to do with computers, or how to work something on a camera, or a particular song, if there's an intro, or you know, a person at the beginning talking about a load of rubbish or how their weekend was, I'm not interested. I know that sounds bad, but a lot of people that come across the videos that probably aren't interested in all that, have that at maybe at the end of the video. If you want to talk to your core fans, to you guys, the TVR universe, bear that in mind. You know, if you want to say a little like thank you for everybody, do that at the end. So if you're getting value for this video at the moment, if you're enjoying this video, getting value from it, bang on that like button. Write in the comments below what you think makes a good thumbnail. You know, that's another question. And yeah. So don't go anywhere. I've got a few more things to go over for you guys to really help push your channel. If you've only just joined us here live, or you've skipped down a video, or you're watching today, or you've got this far, thank you so much. I'm Dave from the TVR universe. I do weekly YouTube tips on a Tuesday, helping you push your brand, and I do live podcasts here on Saturday, and today I'm doing 2 because you guys are that awesome. So let's crack on with the next question. How can I come up with film ideas? That's a good one. I would say be passionate about what you're doing. I'm just going to have a brief look to see if any more live ones. Value. I'm just going to say hello. I didn't realise. Hello. Yeah, so that question was value. So I would say whatever you're passionate about, go with that. What I would try is, if you're really passionate about gaming or musician, I'm using them because I have some very close friends who are one is a musician. Actually, I'm going to do a shout out. I'm going to do some shout outs to my mate Phil. He's doing a gaming channel. He's pushing out gaming videos at the moment. Go and check out his channel. It's on my channels. My old friend Perry, what a lad. He's a pushing musician. He's going to be a next superstar. Go and check him out. Just click on my channels. Go and check him out. He's an awesome bloke. He makes some great music. He does his own stuff and he does covers. Go and check him out. My mate Dan does occasional game videos. Check him out as well. And if you're getting value from this video, watch more of my videos on my channel to get more hints and tips and guidance on bringing you even more value and to grow your YouTube channel and your brand. Right, so I've had another question here. Just going to have a brief look to see if that's been replied to. Right, so another question is, what camera to use for YouTube videos? Right, we're getting on some questions now. Why not? Let's do a few questions. So, what camera to use? Now, personally, I would start with what you got. Your phone. Something else I've talked about a lot. So, yeah, I don't need to go detail on that, so I apologise for that. But I would say, work what you got. Don't worry too much about spending hundreds of pounds on the newest camera, or you know, the best equipment, or spending loads on a top of the range computer. You can literally start with your phone, filming, editing. There's loads of great apps. Just go on Play Store or iStore, or whatever it's called, Apple Store, whatever. You can tell I'm not an Apple man. Nothing against it. It's just I'm just an Android man. Anyway, keep digging, Dave. So, so I would highly recommend just starting with what you got. Start today. If you really want to make a YouTube channel, if you've not even made one yet, if you're one of these that's been coming on my channel for the last few weeks, watching my videos, thinking I really want to, and I'm not going to mention any names, but I do know 2 or 3 people I know personally who really want to start a YouTube channel, but for whatever reason they've just got all the excuses under the sun. Start today. Start this weekend. But you know what? I'm passionate about, I don't know, the colour white, the colour brown, the colour, I don't know, I'm just saying anything now, but I'm passionate about birds in the sky. Let's just go with that. That's more neutral. I'm passionate about birds in the sky. I'm going to make videos about that because why not? Because as silly as it sounds, there will be hundreds of people, if not thousands, that will be fascinated by that. If you've got passionate about, you know, you're good at carpentry and you're good at making stuff out of wood, you know, just do that. If you've got a passion about cooking, I would love to know someone actually that does one about cooking. I challenge you now to do that. I think it'd be really cool to see that. It just would be. I just think it'd be really cool. But so yeah, so do that. So I just think that would be a really cool opportunity because you could actually do lots of, you know, how to cook steak the best way, how to make the coolest pancakes, how to maybe bake a cake, it sounds silly, but it's amazing how your little tips, people might not, oh, I didn't realise that, and you know, going back to that, bringing value to your audience, bringing value to your brand, solving problems. That's something that I really want to get out on this video today, is solving problems. It sounds silly, but it's something that I really want you guys to take on board and take seriously, because if you can solve problems, say for example my channel, right now, for years, being brutally honest with myself, I made just random videos, and some of them were good, some of them weren't. I probably made a good 100 or so that were probably just pointless, and I know that some of you out there enjoyed them, and that's great. I appreciate that, but I wasn't solving problems. I wasn't really bringing value. I had a few people that were like, yeah, they're funny, but the brutal truth was a lot of them were pointless. Now what I do now, I bring value to you guys. That is my goal. That is the mission statement of the TVI universe, is bringing value to you guys, in teaching you YouTube tips so you can grow your own YouTube channels, build your own brands. I am now bringing you value. I'm solving problems for you. So do you see where I'm going at? So no matter what, you know, even if you're a gamer, you're thinking, right, you know, I'm going to show you the best way to kill these bad guys using a shotgun. This is the best way to do it. Or how to upgrade a certain weapon on Fallout. How to customize the best weaponries on Skyrim. Do you see where I'm going with this? You know, if I was doing a gaming channel, there's loads of stuff I would do. And one thing I'd really recommend actually is if you're perhaps you're just starting out and you're unsure what to do and all this sort of jazz, what I would highly recommend to you is test stuff out. Until you've literally got thousands of subscribers, you can still experiment. Don't keep changing, stay with your niche, but think, right, so I'm going to use gaming again because it's a good example. So you could do a review. I know I've sort of said this, but bear with me if you just join us here live. You could do a game review about maybe even the same game. A game review, gameplay, and maybe solving the problem. I think that's an interesting one. So, you know, how to kill a certain boss. And out of interest, just see which one gets the most views, the most engagement, maybe the most people commenting, and that would be really interesting to see. And I guarantee you that most likely the review or the one solving the problem will get the most views, and then go with that, solve more problems, think, right, that worked, I'm going to make more videos about that within my niche. You see where I'm going with that? Okay guys, so if you've just joined us, I'm Dave from the TVI Universe. I bring to you weekly YouTube tips on a Tuesday. So this coming Tuesday will be about easy podcast setup. Don't miss that. Every Saturday I do a podcast round 11 o'clock as soon as I can, as long as I'm not falling over water or whatever, falling over bananas. And just remember, bringing value. So if you're getting value from this video today, like, subscribe, share with family and friends. If you want to see what the TVI Universe is doing, you can check out our Twitter feed at any time, or just type in TVI Universe Twitter into Google or any search engine, and you will find exactly what's going on within the TVI Universe. So feel free to send me questions that I can answer on next week's podcast. That'd be really exciting. And I look forward to have you guys there. So come in for that. Let's just see if there's anything going on. Well, there's a few more questions, but I'll get to them next week. So thank you so much for joining us. I hope you enjoyed today. I've really enjoyed this podcast. It's been probably the best podcast I've ever done. You guys really do rock. And you know what? You guys rock. Have a great evening, great rest of your weekend. Happy Father's Day to all you great fathers out there. And you know what? You guys are the TVR universe. See you Tuesday and see you Saturday. You guys rock. I just want to say, if you're getting value from this video, please subscribe.